What is up, Bears fans? Welcome. It is game day. It is Chicago at Green Bay. We travel to Lambeau Field for the most heated rivalry in sports as the Bears take on the Packers. I don't know about you guys, it's a mixture of emotions today, this morning, this afternoon, depends when you're watching the video. Nerves, yes. Worries, yes. Excitement, yes. All of the above. All of those emotions, mixed emotions ahead of the game this afternoon. Wow, look, it's huge. It's massive. It's a massive game at Lambeau Field. A battle for the top of the NFC North. A battle for the top seed in the NFL. A defeat today and the Bears would slip to 7th seed from 1st, and that's how close it is. It's a 9:25 kickoff here in the UK, 9:25 in the evening. It's obviously a 3:25 there in Chicago. Look, a whole host of things obviously going today. We're going to talk a little bit of the game today. We're going to talk a little bit of news as well. Bears Communications releasing some information about roster moves. We'll talk about those in a moment. And we'll talk about sort of what the hopes are for today's game and going forward. You know, this is, I think, a landmark game. It is a stage-setting game. It is a season-defining game, I think, realistically for the Bears. It's Armageddon on the football field. It is a battle. It is two tribes going to war this afternoon. And look, we all hope the Bears savage those cheeseheads and send them back home, send them packing in effect. Right, this is the news that came out anyway. Let's talk about the news first of all. Bears have signed offensive lineman Jordan McFadden to the active roster and waived linebacker Carl Jones Jr. Additionally, Chicago has elevated linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin from the practice squad for Sunday's game against the Green Bay Packers. What do we know about Jordan McFadden? Well, Jordan McFadden is 26 years old. He is from Spartanburg in South Carolina. I say, what a wonderful name for a place, Spartanburg. He's 6'2", 306 pounds. He went to Clemson between 2018 and 2022. He was a 5th round pick, 156th overall pick for the Los Angeles Chargers. He was a Charger between 23 and 24, and obviously now is a Bear. He was a CFP national champion in 2018. He won the Jacobs blocking trophy in 2022. He's played 13 games in the NFL as of the end of last season, and started 2 games as of the end of last year. That is it in terms of his record. For the Chargers, he was signed in the 5th round. Like I said, he's a rookie. He played in 12 games and started 2 in the 2023 season. On the 9th of January 2025, McFadden was waived by the Chargers, having played only 1 game for the team during the regular season. On the 10th of January, the Bears claimed him off waivers. That is obviously, I think just a move to perhaps bolster the offensive line. I don't think this is a move to bring in anyone to kind of add it to start. I think it's a bit more just bulking out the offensive line. Obviously Braxton Jones, I think on his way out as well of the Bears. But a bulk move, just a bulking out move. The other obviously bit of news there that you can see is the promotion of Jalen Reeves-Maybin from the practice squad up to the full squad. Another linebacker to add. Now, obviously, TJ Edwards and Noah Sewell will be back today, but you know what? You're going to look at that, and I think we're going to have to say that both of them will be on snap counts. They won't want to obviously risk injuring, especially TJ Edwards, given his record this year. I think there will be a case of basically looking at managing his snaps and having as many options on the bench as possible to come in for the Bears. Obviously, I know that Omen Ogunbiyiga has done a very, very good job in recent weeks, as has DeMarco Jackson. Many people actually saying that DeMarco Jackson will start over Noah Sewell today. In terms of Jalen Reeves-Maybin, he is a 30-year-old out of Clarksville, Tennessee. He's 6 foot, 226 pounds. He went to Northeast Tennessee High School, then went to Tennessee College. He was a 4th round pick, 124 overall by the Detroit Lions. Yes, he has NFC North experience. He played for the Lions between 2017 and 2021, for the Texans in 2022, for the Lions again in 23-24, and he is now with the Bears. As of the end of last season, he had 221 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 8 pass deflections, 4 rushing rushing yards and 31 passing yards. Interesting, I think, uses of him there. Like I said, in terms of the way he played, in 2024 he signed in February 2024 he signed a 2-year extension with the Lions. In the 2024 season he appeared in 10 games. He had a role on defense and special teams. On March the 12th, 2025, he was released in a move to clear up cap space. That was the reason for his departure, not because he was particularly bad. Rees-Maybin was signed to the Chicago Bears practice squad on November the 18th, 2025. Rees-Maybin may be someone who actually may get some snaps and some features, especially on special teams today for the Bears. So an interesting move by the Bears to bring up a linebacker to the squad for the Packers game this afternoon. An interesting move by Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles to bolster that linebacker group, especially, like I said, given the fact that I think Noah Sewell and TJ Edwards will both be on snap counts this afternoon. Right, look, this game this afternoon is massive. I think, we can quite categorically say, as much as we hate the Packers, and as much as Matt LaFleur is a whinging old fanny, they are a decent team. They are probably the best team we have come across this season. Jordan Love is on form. Their form coming into this game is good. Their defense is probably one of the best defenses we have faced as well, given how well they play, especially as a run defense. You look at the Packers coming into this game. This is, like I said, it's massive. It's huge. Packers coming into this game, obviously, they beat the Lions last time out 31-24. They beat the Vikings 23-6. Everyone's beating the Vikings. They beat the Giants 27-20. They did lose to the Eagles 10-7 in recent times, a team that we obviously beat. They lost to the Panthers as well 16-13, and they did beat the Steelers 35-25. Their record is mixed. There is opportunities there for the Bears today. Their running attack is very good. Josh Jacobs is excellent. Obviously, our run defense has not been great this season, especially that D line. I think the need today, obviously having TJ Edwards back and Noah Sewell, if only on limited snap counts, will help on running plays to lessen the Josh Jacobs effect. I think that will be a major look at that, a major thing that will help to improve the Bears today. Look, Dennis Allen, in terms of the defense, is going to have to get super creative in terms of bringing pressure to Jordan Love. One thing that you've got to do is pressure Jordan Love. Yes, Jordan Love is quite good under pressure, but he is also even better when he has no pressure. So, there is a real need there to bring the pressure, to bring the heat to Jordan Love today. Now, the defensive line need to step up big time today. Now, look, the edges, the tackles of the Packers are pretty decent, but the interior offensive line is not the strongest. So there's real opportunities there for Gervon Dexter, Grady Jarrett, and Andrew Billings to bring some pressure down at the center, help stuff the run, and put Jordan Love under a whole lot of pressure. That's where DA has got to kind of scheme it. I think also, with the fact that we have both CJ Gardner-Johnson and Kyler Gordon fit now as well, I think again you may see some interesting blitz packages featuring Gardner-Johnson and Kyler Gordon, bringing some heat to Jordan Love as well. Moving those guys up into the box may also help with stuffing the run and bringing the pressure. I think that's something else that DA will be looking at. Jalen Johnson, obviously, I think will be on a greater snap count today, which will obviously help with containing the Packers receivers. They do have, I think it's Reed there, one of their top receivers back today, which obviously will help Jordan Love. But Jalen Johnson moving back to form is obviously the key thing there. Nashawn Wright needs to obviously tighten up on those loose plays, make sure that he doesn't give up any chunk plays and doesn't get burnt. And if he is going to get burnt, he needs to come up with some takeaways. I think takeaways will be absolutely key for the D today. We are the takeaway leaders of the NFL, and we need to bring those takeaways today to get the win at Lambeau Field. Right, look, in terms of the offense today, we need to obviously step it up on the passing side of the game. Rome Odunze being out is a big worry. Yes, Rome Odunze has perhaps had a few drops recently and perhaps not. He's had some great routes recently. But, look, at the end of the day, it is an opportunity for those people out there to step up. DJ Moore obviously is a top wide receiver in the NFL anyway. It's an opportunity for Omid Zaccheaus. It's an opportunity for Colston Loveland. It's an big opportunity for Luther Burden to really step up and take those receptions that would have normally gone to Rome Odunze. Redundze, and into that, of course, Cole Kmet as well. Now, the one thing I am looking for today is that improvement in completion percentage from Caleb Williams, and also the improvement in terms of the routes and completing routes by our receivers today. There were 1 or 2 routes they stopped. I think if they'd ran them, finished them in the game against the Eagles, we could have actually won that game by a whole lot more. Omid Zacchaeus and Redundze being 2 of the chief suspects in that one. Look, one thing I will say to you is this. Ben Johnson, obviously pre the bye week, stated that the running attack was not good enough and needed to improve. Post-bye, the rushing attack has been outstanding. It is the second best in the NFL. He fixed it. Post this longer stretch between the Friday game and the Sunday game, Ben Johnson said that the passing attack had not been up to standard. I'm looking for Ben to have fixed that and made that better by today. Usually when Ben says something's broke, he fixes it, he makes it better, ready for the next week. So we're looking for that today. I think, the big thing on the offensive side of the ball today will be establishing the run and establishing the run early. Getting Dondre Swift and Kyle Monungai running it down the throats of those Green Bay Packers defenders. Now, the one thing I will say is their edge defense, yes, is pretty good, but their interior defensive line has not been as good. Obviously, the loss of Kenny Clark has obviously not helped them, but will help us hopefully, and run the ball at Micah Parsons. The one thing Micah Parsons cannot do is run defend. His run defense is not good. We also need to come up with schemes for stopping Micah Parsons as well. I think, look, he probably will go and be on Ozzy Trapillo's side or Theo Benedek, depends on who starts on the left tackle side most of the game. So you need to look at how we can get support out there to him, whether it be Joe Tooney supporting, obviously, who is one of the best guards in the NFL, or whether one of the tight ends stations himself somewhere out there to help with blocking. Guys, we need to look at that sort of solution. I'm sure Ben, Dan Rauschar, and the rest of the offensive staff have been looking at that all week and will have solutions to those issues. This game is massive today. It is huge. And look, it's nice to actually go into a Bears-Packers game with realistic opportunity where we can actually win this game, where the Bears can come out triumphant. Look, there's a lot of times when we go and we play Green Bay in recent years where there's literally no opportunity at all for this to be a win. You go into this game just going, let's just hope we keep the score down. Let's hope it's not an embarrassment. But this year, the Bears have really grown up. We have the talent on that roster to win there. And I think it's worth noting that last year we went to Lambeau Field with a much weaker roster, with a much weaker offensive line, and a much weaker team, and a really badly coached team, and won 25-22. This year, it is good. We are going into this game with equal, if not better, coaches than the Packers. Johnson, Taylor, Dennis Allen, Declan Doyle, Antoine Randall, Eric Bieniemy. These guys, Al Harris, these guys all match up and are better than their opponents on the opposite sideline. I think there's an opportunity today. Look, I'm not going to pretend this is going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be a blowout. I'm going for it. It's going to be a very tight, in-your-face game, which will come down, I think, to one possession to win this game. I'm hoping that comes down to us. I'm hoping that Caleb can lead one of those fourth quarter drives that he does, and we can get the winning touchdown or winning field goal to win this game. Prediction, I'm sticking with 27-24 Bears to win it at Lambeau. I'm also sticking for them to sweep the Cheeseheads this year. Guys, this is season defining. Win today and winning out and being a real threat in the playoffs is a real opportunity for our Chicago Bears this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments ahead of today's game. Thank you for your amazing support to this point. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you on the next one. Bear down.